Hey guys, it's Co and O with Oco Cruising.
How y'all doing today?
Welcome to boarding day on the Carnival Magic Part 1. First off, we got up really early to drive down. We left home around 4-ish. This is the only time that I would recommend driving to the port the morning of is if you live within a couple of hours of the port, which we do. Even with that, our boarding time was 10:30, and like I said, we left home around 4-ish, so we gave ourselves plenty of time for any unforeseen incidents like a flat tire or anything like that.
So we left early enough that it was a really smooth ride down to Norfolk. And when we got to Norfolk, we went to see the ship,
which gave us sort of like a sneak peek before we parked the car and actually took the buses over to the port. Not only did getting in early give us the chance to get a sneak peek at the ship, we also got to kind of play around and explore the port. We took pictures, got to go to Starbucks.
And if you're a Starbucks junkie like my wife, it is literally like a 2-minute drive or a 4-minute walk from the port.
Depending on how fast you walk. It may be a little longer if you're not a fast walker.
I mean, it's close enough to where you can get there within a reasonable amount of time.
Yeah, agreed. After we explored the port, checked out the battleships, and just kind of hung out for a while, it was time to head to the parking lot.
In Norfolk, cruise parking for Carnival is at the Cedar Grove parking lot, which is about 5 minutes from the port. It is currently the only place that is publicly allowed for everybody to park.
When we got to the parking lot, it was delayed for some unforeseen reason, but once we were able to get into the parking lot and get moving, things started going fairly quickly. You pull in, you pay the attendant cash, and I don't know if do they take debit card? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't think we tried to. I think we just paid cash because we had it.
Yeah. But you pay the attendant as you're pulling in. You don't pay in advance. After they guide you to where you're going to park at. After you park, you hand off all of your luggage to the porters who are right there in the parking lot. For us, they literally were coming up to cars and collecting luggage. This is different from what they did just a few short cruises ago where you had to take your bags over to the bus. Right now, they're loading them up onto U-Hauls and taking them over to the port for you. But while you get on the bus, your luggage gets on a U-Haul.
And that's pretty good because, honestly, it makes sure all the luggage gets there at the same time. You don't have to worry about anybody missing any luggage because they're all being packed into one location.
I'm not going to say you don't have to worry about it because they can still manage to lose it. But it makes it a lot less likely to pack it all in one spot and unpack it all from one spot. Once we handed off all of our luggage to the porters, we were off to the buses. They charter buses that will take you from the parking lot to the actual port where you're going to board. These buses are your typical charter buses. It's very narrow pathway walking through, so make sure that you pack up all your cruise gear for your carry-ons, and you are prepared to get on the bus, hold everything in your lap. There's some overhead storage, but it's minimal and it's small. And keep in mind that just like when you're boarding a plane or anything else, people are behind you waiting to get to their seats. So you want to be able to move rather quickly. The bus ride was really short. It's a very quick drive from the parking lot to the port. But once you get to the port, be prepared because things start to move really quickly.
Yeah, you got to make sure you have all of your documentation in hand. And I mean, boarding passes on separate sheets of paper because they're going to check everything individually.
And they're going to check it multiple times. From the second you step off of the bus to the second you get to the door to enter the actual port, they're going to ask you 3 or 4 times. One of the main reasons they do that is because they want to make sure that 1, you're in the right line, and 2, that you are within your boarding time window. When you go to check in, you get assigned or you choose a boarding time. You have to stick to that boarding time. They will turn you away if you are outside of that window. You can show up after that window at any point before boarding actually closes, but you cannot show up any earlier than your allotted time. Just as an FYI, we took 2 carry-ons and 2 coolers, 12 by 12 by 12 coolers with 12 cans of soda each, and then 2 actual 12 packs of canned sodas. And we made it through security pretty effortlessly. Carnival does not allow you to bring on bottled water, but they will allow you to bring on 12 cans per person. The rest of our luggage we checked with the porters so that we didn't have to tote it around. Going through security was pretty standard. It was maybe a 5-minute process, going through, putting your things through the x-ray machine, all that good stuff. We were in and out. Our laptops made it through just fine.
I will say this, if you plan on videotaping the experience, security will force you to put that camera away. They do not let you videotape in the actual security area where they're checking luggage.
After you get through security, it'll be time to go to actually check in for the cruise, where they're going to take your picture. So they actually have a live photo of what you look like on the day of. They're going to take pictures of you, take pictures of the kids, and those pictures will then be assigned to your account, which will come up every time you use your Sign and Sail card to get on and off the ship.
If you have a passport, they're going to use your passport picture because it's right there, and they actually have a verified copy of the picture.
As long as you have all your documents ready to go, going through actual check-in is pretty effortless. And once you get through that process, then you go to wait until they call your boarding call number. We just so happen to have priority for this sailing, so we didn't have to wait a long period of time between check-in and actually boarding the ship. And we were right within our window. I think we had a 10:30 boarding time, and we were walking on the ship probably about 11 a.m. It was pretty smooth. So that's about it.
All right, y'all, that's it. If you found anything useful in this video, like and follow. Part 2 coming soon.